Welcome to the Finjan Show. I'm your host, Faris Alami, and today's podcast is brought to you by Connecting Dots Globally, a nonprofit focused on youth entrepreneurship and STEM, connecting youth with entrepreneurship mindset, as well as global settings, as well as solving world problems. Welcome to the show. Today, I'm excited to have a guest with us, a very special guest, because we happen to be in Washington, D.C., but she's based in Cairo, Egypt. And we're just finishing up a program, and I thought it would be awesome to have her on the show. So, Khadija, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much, Faris. Thank you so much. I'm really excited for this show, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. So let's start. I mean, most of our audiences might not know who Khadija is and what does Khadija do. So maybe you could tell us, who's Khadija?
Yes, sure. So basically, my name is Khadija, as you know. I'm the founder of a startup called FirstKaid. It's based in Egypt. And what we're trying to tackle is healthcare education, specifically when it comes to first aid education, because in Egypt, we have a huge market gap when it comes to first aid education because it's not being taught in schools and it's not embedded in the education system. So what we're trying to do is first providing first aid workshops, but with a different concept in which we try to tailor every workshop according to each customer segment's needs. So for example, we have a workshop for parents, another one for athletes, and another one for teachers, and the list goes on. And we try to include lots of simulation-based learning and lots of gamification in what we do in order to ensure full retention of information by the participants. And we work mainly with organizations, schools, and B2B in different aspects. So this is what the core of what we're doing. But of course, when COVID-19 happened, we had to pivot a little bit because all the workshops, all the trainings had to stop. So what we did is we invested in our other branch in the company, which is an assembly line of first aid kits. And we also work B2B with different people and different organizations. We do merchandise for organizations. We do even white label model for retailers when it comes to first aid kits. And hopefully one day we'd also be able to have our own retail system and be on shelves in stores and pharmacies. So this is basically what we do.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're doing all of this, if I understood correctly, while you're still going to school.
Yes. I'm still on my final year of medical school in Egypt. So I'm about to be a doctor in a couple of months, hopefully. So it's been hectic, but surviving.
Very cool. And what made you think in this aspect? Why not just be a doctor? Why are you doing all this crazy entrepreneurship stuff?
All right, personal aspect, or just generally why? Okay,
personal,
so yeah, of course. So personally, honestly, I always felt so I'm usually the kind of person who always feels all right, I need to have some sort of an impact. I need to even if it's a one conversation a day, even if it's something, I just need to somehow try and influence people on a daily basis. So personally, I felt all right, what do I know best? What could I, and what does my society needs most? So this is what I try to do, is basically trying to do something that I enjoy, which is teaching people about something that I'm aware of and I'm qualified to do, like first aid and medicine, and at the same time benefiting the society and the people. So this is generally. Also a part of it was when it comes to specifically when it comes to leading a team. This is something I've always been doing. I've been working in organizations since I was in high school. I've been doing so many student activities. So I enjoy the idea of being in a team and trying to lead a team towards a specific goal or towards a specific target, in which we call it now in business. But this is basically why I wanted to start this. And also a huge part of it comes from the exposure I had working in hospitals and emergency departments, seeing patients every day, having to undergo much complications, lots of things that could have helped if there was someone who intervened in the right time with the right equipment. So also this part added a lot to the idea and the concept behind FirstKaid.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. Clearly, we could dig deeper into this, and we will.
All right.
But maybe we'll take a short break, and we'll be
Sure.
right back with these short messages. Is that okay?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, we'll be right back with these short messages. Thanks for being with us. All right, welcome back on the Finjan Show. And today we have a guest, Khadija. Thank you for being with us today.
My pleasure.
Khadija, so this journey you've been on for what now? A couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Correctly. I'm sure you've had your ups and downs, and sometimes there were maybe the same moments. Maybe you could share with us maybe one of your down moments where you felt the world is ending and you gotta stop what you're doing.
Right. Oh wow!
I'm sure there are many.
Okay, yeah, so many of them are now like flowing into my head. But like one time, so on my like 4th year of medical school, I had like it was so I had to undergo a big course, and it was internal medicine, which is basically the core of medicine. And so during that part, I was operating FirstKaid, and at the same time trying to somehow manage my studies and everything. And then I failed a semester because of what I'm doing. Fortunately, like I didn't have to do it all over again, and I just had to like make up for it for the final exam on the semester afterwards. But the amount of effort I had to put afterwards in order to make up for it was very, very hard. And for me to fail an exam, it was just like, all right, maybe I need to like stop everything that I'm doing. Maybe it's not worth it, and I just like have to focus on being a doctor, and that's it. And also like our numbers weren't doing that well. We weren't conducting much workshops. We didn't have the kits by that time, so it was just basically bunch of students giving training. So, and everyone was like seeing it that way. So no one was supporting a decision of like going with a startup more than like focusing on your studies. So this was a turning point. I didn't stop FirstKaid by that time, but somehow I tried to have good, or like try to work more on my time management skills, trying to delegate more, trying to like postpone as many things as I can. And I ended up doing very well actually that year. And it's been like it was like the kind of thing in which you have to go through in order to build the set of skills that you're going to need for the rest of your life. So as much as it was a down thing and like failure, let's call it failure, for me it was also a huge learning curve, like in order to actually become resilient if, for example, I had to go through such an experience before, then I know the skills that I need to use and to overcome such a challenge.
Oh, maybe you can call it experience.
Yeah, experience. So that's easier.
Cool. At the same moment, I know you might have mentioned it might have been also your best year.
Right.
You probably had lots of ups as well, and some of them you felt like you're touching the sky, the
Yeah.
was under control, you got it.
Yes, definitely.
Would you mind again?
Of
I'm
course.
sure there are many of them, but can you share one specific example?
All right, I think it would be last year, like the year as a whole, because like during that year we've launched our assembly line, and we won not just one competition but 2 competitions, first place, and we were able to raise around 250,000 Egyptian pounds of grants, so zero equity as well. So for me, like to like see the award after all the hard work, trying to validate the market, trying to get the numbers right in order to like prove to the judges like, yes, this works. Yes, we know that what we're doing is so much different, but it works and there's a need for it. And seeing all of that pays off somehow into like validation, in terms of validation, like people saying, yes, okay, here you go, here's the money, please keep going. This was like the highlight of the entire journey. So validation from customers and also other people of experience. So for example, when you say you think that what we're doing might actually go well and might actually work, for us, this is a huge deal. Like someone else validating, someone with experience, and just anyone, but like someone with experience within the ecosystem, validating what you're doing, it gives you a confidence boost somehow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. Clearly, we can keep you all day, but I know you have things to do.
Thank you.
The last thing I'm going to ask you, looking back, and I like the fact that it's only 2 years ago. Looking back 2 years ago, and I know it's hard to imagine that because looking back 2 years ago, the terminology that you know today is different, your experience is different, your insights are different. What would you tell the younger Khadija 2 years ago, self, knowing what you know today, back then?
I'd definitely tell her it's okay to be confused. It's 100% okay to feel like you don't have an impact, or like being confused about the message that you're trying to deliver to the people. It's 100% okay. It's just a learning process. And honestly, just enjoy every single bit of it, and maybe like try to be less stressed, because it's going to be fine. So maybe just taking things easier, it's going to even make it a much better experience.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Khadija.
Thank you, Faris. Thank you so much for hosting me, and good luck with your show.
Thank you. For our viewers and listeners, thank you for being with us. I'm your host, Faris Alami, and this is the Finjan Show. Until the next episode, good day.